So let's talk about the new covenant. When that phrase pops into your head, what do you picture? For a lot of people, it's just a religious idea, right? Maybe some new rules, a promise about heaven, something like that. But what if it's way, way bigger than that, and something that matters right now? Today, we're going to dive deep into what the new covenant is all about.
So is it just an update? Religion 2.0 with a better set of terms and conditions? Well, the material we're digging into today says not even close. It suggests that actually we've kind of missed the entire point.
Okay, now check this out. This slide really lays it bare. On the left, you've got the usual ideas. A new set of rules to follow, some kind of escape plan for the future, or maybe a program for moral self-improvement. But look at the right side. The core truth is a totally different story. It's not about rules, it's about a restored union. It's not about escaping, it's about God being fully revealed. It's about getting back something that was completely lost.
All right, so here's how we're going to unpack all this. First, we'll see why this whole thing is bigger than just rules. Then we'll dig into the original problem, the reason a covenant was needed to begin with. After that, we meet the person who changes everything. We'll see a massive wall get torn down. And finally, we'll figure out what it means to actually live in this new reality.
First up, beyond rules and religion. This is a huge shift in thinking. We're moving away from seeing our relationship with God as a transaction, I do this, so God does that, and into seeing it as a total transformation of who we are.
But hey, to really appreciate the solution, you've got to understand the problem. And it might not be what you think it is. So let's get to the bottom of why a covenant was even necessary.
You see, right from the start, humanity's issue wasn't a lack of information. It wasn't that people didn't have enough scrolls or instructions on how to be good people. No, that wasn't the problem at all. Here it is. The real problem was this deep, fundamental separation. A total disconnection from the very source of life, from God. It created this state of spiritual death, a distance that no amount of human effort could ever bridge.
And that's where the law, what we often call the Old Covenant, comes in. Think of it like a super advanced MRI. It was the perfect diagnostic tool. It did an amazing job of exposing the problem, showing everyone the separation and how powerless we were to fix it. But here's the thing. An MRI can show you the tumor, but it can't perform the surgery. The law revealed the sickness, but it had no cure.
So if the problem is that deep, what could possibly be the solution? Well, this brings us to our third stop. The covenant keeper arrives. And the answer wasn't a new plan or better strategy. It was a person.
This quote just nails it. Jesus didn't show up to negotiate a better deal between God and humanity, like two separate parties. No, he came as the perfect representative of both. He was the only one who could fulfill all the requirements of the covenant for everybody, all in himself.
And get this, the resolution to this whole cosmic separation, it didn't happen in some heavenly courtroom. It happened at the cross. In the person of Jesus, God's perfect justice against separation and his unbelievable mercy towards us, they met and were completely resolved.
Now this personal resolution leads to the absolute climax of the story. The dividing wall gets destroyed. And this isn't just about you or me getting forgiveness. It's about a radical reconciliation that created something brand new for all of humanity.
Before the new covenant, you could basically split humanity into two big groups. On one hand, you had covenant Israel. They were considered near to God, right? They had the promises, the law, the temple. And then you had, well, everybody else, the Gentiles. They were described as being far away, strangers, totally on the outside looking in.
So what was this wall that kept them apart? According to the Apostle Paul, it was the law itself. All the rules and regulations acted like a literal boundary marker, a dividing wall that spelled out who was in and who was out. And that, of course, created a lot of hostility.
And this is where it gets just incredible. Jesus didn't just open a gate to let the far-away group come hang out with the near group. He did something so much more radical. He completely abolished the whole system of separation. He ended both of those old identities, Jew and Gentile, and created something the world had never seen before, one new humanity in himself.
And this is the critical point. The identity of this new, unified people, it's not based on your family tree, or how well you perform religiously, or what ethnic group you belong to. It is based on one thing and one thing only, your union with Christ.
So, what does this all mean for us, right here, right now? This is where it all comes together. Let's talk about our final point, awakening to a new reality. It's about understanding that the work is already done. Our part isn't to try and build something, but to wake up to what's already true.
Just look at the results of this. Forgiveness isn't something we're still striving for, it's a finished fact. Access to God isn't for a select few, it's wide open to everyone. God isn't sitting up there with a clipboard tallying up our mistakes. Our connection to real life doesn't come through a system or a ritual, it's through Jesus alone. Every single thing that used to create distance between us and God, it's gone, vanished.
And that leaves us with one last massive thought to chew on. If the work is truly finished, if reconciliation is complete, if access is totally open, how does that change how we live every single day? What if the goal is no longer to strive and struggle to get closer to God, but to simply awaken to the incredible reality that in Christ we're already there?